Well, good morning, free thinkers. This is Ocean with your Free Thinkers report for the 25th September 2020. There is lots happening, so there is a lot to choose from for item 1, the big picture. Let us start with the global reset. For me, this means that virtually all human systems are undergoing a reset process or reboot, from governmental, financial, educational, health and food systems. They all need major changes, and all of them are undergoing their own particular type of change. They're being challenged to bring them back into what I would call the divine plan for evolutionary planetary living systems. To highlight 2 sources to explore the global reset further. The first one is Patricia Cota-Robles' latest vlog, Preparation for Planetary Reboot. I put a link down below so you can see or listen to her latest vlog. I'm a big fan of Patricia, who heads up Era of Peace. She creates weekly vlogs which are always inspiring, including the latest 3 about the planetary reboot. The second source is Greg Moffitt, who heads up Legalize Freedom. He does many talks which are all worth listening to. The latest one is called COVID-19, The Great Reset. This is his review of a book produced by the World Economic Forum, or rather 2 individuals who head up the World Economic Forum. Now, you need to know that the World Economic Forum was one of the organisations with Johns Hopkins University and the Bill Gates Foundation, shall I say the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation, that carried out Event 201, which was all about how they were going to release COVID-19 and prepare for what to do to mainly deal with the adverse publicity they would get. So it was all to do with how you control media, which of course is exactly what we're seeing now. Anyway, Greg does a super review of the book, and I thoroughly recommend listening to his latest Legalize Freedom interview, which I'll put a link again down below. But I would like to highlight one bit of it that struck me when I read the book, which Greg for some reason didn't highlight, but for me it was very interesting to see that in their chapter on the macro reset about economics, they mention on page 68 that it can, for example, metaphorically drop into helicopters. This is all to do with how you can distribute money in the event that people have struggled to make a living, really. They say that they can distribute money from helicopters. This is called helicopter money. The idea is appealing and realisable, but it contains a major issue for social expectations and political control. Once citizens realise that money can be found on a magic money tree, elected politicians will be under fierce and relentless public pressure to create more and more, which is when the issue of inflation kicks in. Well, of course, we all know that they can create money at will. It's called fiat money, and we need a new financial system to stop the governments misbehaving with our money and giving it to all their mates, rather than the people who need it. Although I think Donald Trump is actually changing the way in which the US government is distributing money, because he's actually wanting the money to go to people and not to quangos and those sort of organisations where the money just disappears into someone's pocket. The third source is Magenta Pixies 5-part, which is over 5 hours of YouTube. So I've listened to all of them. They're absolutely superb. But I've re-listened to some of them about the ending of the Kali Yuga and the reset to the Diamond Core. The episodes are called Kali Yuga Into the Photon Belt, Atlantis Diamond Codes, New Earth Teachings. The second one is 4D Domains, Silver Cores and the Disintegration of the Negative Elite. The third is Life in the Fourth Density, Future Earth Geology and Neon Kingdoms. This one is one that really intrigued me because it talked about the new oxygen or carbon dioxide, our new respiratory system that will come about in this big change. The fourth one was called the US Election Ascension Connection, and the fifth was Trump win probability and manifestation at galactic completion, New Earth teachings. Again, if you have time, I thoroughly recommend watching these as she explains her downloads from the White Wing Collective of what is actually happening now and in the future, which may take actually many thousands of years. There's tectonic plate movements and all sorts are going to happen that's predicted there. But for the time being, the key issue is the change to the diamond core, which will result in major changes to all our main systems, which is, of course, the global reset. And finally, on the financial system reset, which is called Jazara Nasara, my source on that one would be Charlie Ward's, who has insider information about the switching on of the quantum financial system and the test forgiveness of loans. Various people all over America and in the UK have found that some of their loans have disappeared, student loans or certain debts or what have you. But these are all done on tests. It hasn't been widespread yet. It's just a few individuals have been tested to see what happens, and it's worked. So that is going on the cards very soon. So item 2 is geophysical and astrological energetics. And for this one, I would highlight the MarsSaturn Square that Cobra and the 144K Jim have highlighted. And we're having, first of all, our mass meditation last weekend was major successful. Cobra's done a report that says basically we're winning not only at on a planetary level, but also at a sublunar level, that the Draco forces are in retreat. But they're going to up the ante in the last ditch attempt to keep some sort of, I don't know, some sort of presence, I would guess, or some of them want to leave, I don't know. It's quite complicated, but we're doing the meditations. The next one will be for the MarsSaturn Square. So to quote from Jim's latest email, Cobra has also just confirmed, almost certainly a result of our energetic and timeline impact, that most of all or all remaining sublunar Draco dark fleets and also underground Cabal assets have been forced out to engage all light forces due to their accelerated inevitable exposure. In desperation, they've now tried to break out of the quarantine the light forces have on them, resulting in the huge escalation of combat engagement. In other words, what was always going to happen before the final wipeout of the dark, sublunar and underground assets, huge escalation of battles, has already started, perhaps prematurely based on expectations of the previous timeline, thanks to us. Yes, we will be heeding Cobra's, the light forces call for more energy work, mass meditations on the MarsSaturn Square of September 29th, 4:30 p.m. New York time zone. So that will be 9:30 p.m. UK time. I, of course, will be there with everybody else on the 144 mass meditation mission. Finally, item 3, suggested spiritual practice. For this, actually, I've got two. The first one is continuing with the theme of the protection field. One of the big protection fields you can set up is a medicine wheel. And I've recorded what I call the My Way Zen medicine wheel. And again, I put a link down below to where you can find that and listen to it and see whether it resonates with you. It takes the 4 cardinal points above and below and the energies are within, and then the ancestors, and bring them all into the medicine wheel that is you at the centre. And you've created as kind of like a protection field of all this high quality, high frequency energy around you. And the other suggested spiritual practice would be the daily 10-minute practice that Return to Truth recommends. This is to do with tuning in to the reboot process for the planet to be made with grace and ease using different visualization tools. The whole process is explained on Return to Your Truth, and I put a link down below so you can look at that practice that Jim has recommended for the 144k members. So thank you once again for listening. Please subscribe, like and share, and God bless.